In this problem, we are going to divide these two rational functions, and we're going to simplify it down and state any restrictions or excluded values. But the first thing we need to do is do some factoring. I'm noticing a common factor here. So let's just pull out the common factor of 2 before we get too far started. So if I divide everything by 2, that'll be 5x squared minus 14x plus 8. Okay, so I've done that now. Similarly, this denominator will become 2 times x minus 2. So you can forget about that at this point. Okay, now there are no more common factors, so I'm going to keep going with the problem. Now the main thing you have to do when you are dividing with fractions is you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to wind up turning this to a multiplication problem, and I'm going to wind up turning the whole thing upside down. I'm going to wind up turning the second fraction upside down. Okay, so I'm going to make this multiplication, and I'm going to have the 5x squared minus 41x plus 8 will actually be up here, and the 25x squared minus 25x plus 4 will be down here. You multiply by the reciprocal. You turn the second fraction upside down. Now this fraction is going to stay in the same order that it was in before. So 2 times 5x squared minus 14x plus 8. I'm just bringing that down. And then 2 over x minus 2. So now I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to factor everything I can and see what happens. All right, so I'm definitely going to keep the 2. This trinomial will surely factor as a binomial times a binomial. 5x squared can only factor as 5x times x. Now I'm looking at the 8, and I'm thinking, 2 times 4 or 8 times 1. I'll try 2 times 4 first. I'm going to highlight this so we can keep in mind that this is our target. All right, inner plus outer equals middle. We're shooting for a negative 14. Okay, let's see. Inner, I have 2x. Outer, I have 20x. Can I pick the signs in such a way that I'm going to get negative 14? No, I could get negative 18, but not negative 14. So this is not working out so far. So let's try it the other way around. Let's try 4 and 2 instead. Okay, inner I have 4x. Outer I have 10x. I'm trying to get negative 14. This is looking good. If I make both of these negative, that will make negative 14. That means both of these would be negative. Let me switch colors back. And a negative times a negative is a positive for the positive 8. So this is now good. Okay, can I get rid of that yellow? Come on, yellow. Boo. Okay, I'm going to keep my 2 and my x minus 2. Nothing more I can do with that. So now I'm going to turn my attention to this numerator. All right, 5x squared can only factor as 5x times x. Now 8, again, could be 2 times 4. Now inner plus outer must equal middle. Inner, I have 2x. Outer, I have 20. The most I can make is 22. I need 41. So I need to go bigger. Go big or go home. So with that in mind, I'm going to go straight to having 1 times 8, because I can see how big this will be. So inner, I have 1x. Outer, I now have 40x. I'm trying to get negative 41. This is looking good. If both of these are negative, that will make negative 41. And a negative times a negative is a positive for the positive 8. So that is good. All right, one more. So I need to factor the denominator here. Okay, 25x squared can only factor as, well, I shouldn't say can only factor as 5x and x. Because actually it could be 25 and 1. You don't know. But let's try this first. Now with the 4 is either 2 times 2 or 1 times 4. Sure, let's try the 2 times 2 first. All right, inner plus outer equals middle. Inner, I have 10x. Outer, I have another 10. That's not going to make negative 25. It'll make negative 20, but that's not enough. Okay, so let's try the 1 times 4 option. Now inner, I have 5x. Outer, I have 20x. Okay, I'm trying to get negative 25. If both of these are negative, that will make the negative 25 that I wanted. So both of these will be negative. And a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, now before I go canceling things out, now would be a good time to talk about the excluded values, the restrictions. The excluded values are going to come from 3 places. They're going to come from both of these denominators and the second numerator, because this numerator used to be a denominator before I did the reciprocal. All right, so neither of these, neither the numerator nor the denominator of the second fraction is allowed to equal 0. So none of these factors I just highlighted in yellow are allowed to equal 0. Okay, so I'm going to look at each one, and I'm going to imagine setting them equal to 0 and solving. If I set x minus 2 equal to 0, I would find that x cannot equal 2. If I set 5x minus 1 equal to 0, I would find that x cannot equal 1/5. Okay, I'm just going to work out this one time. If I have 5x minus 1 equals 0, if I add 1 to both sides, that's 5x equals 1. If I divide both sides by 5, that gives me x equals 1/5. Therefore, x cannot equal 1/5. So that's what I mean when I talk about setting something equal to 0 and solving. All right, so I did this one, I did this one. If I said 5x minus 4 equal to 0, that would tell me that x cannot equal 4/5. Now I'm looking up in the numerator. I already did 5x minus 1 down here, but x minus 8, if I set that equal to 0, that tells me that x cannot equal 8. So these are my excluded values, my restrictions. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and actually look at what cancels out. Let's see, I'm really trying to, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to use my highlighting to cancel things that cancel out. So let's see, 5x minus 4 is high, 5x minus 4 is low. Those will cancel each other out. What's next? X minus 2 is high and low. Those will cancel each other out. 5x minus 1 is high, 5x minus 1 is low. Those will cancel each other out. Okay, now there's one more little thing that will also cancel out, and it is the 2. This 2 and this 2. Those cancel each other out. So that just leaves one factor. That just leaves x minus 8. So all of this mess simplified down to x minus 8, but with all these restrictions, excluded values. So that is the answer to number 2. All right, so x minus 8.